whenever we have to do opposition and politics, let's do it with some sense of decorum and with the fear of God. If people actually believe in God, if you don't believe in God, at least with the fear of Amadio and Shongo, where could they do the work? Somebody said today, the person said that the greatest opposition where APC gets, not be even the coalition. The greatest opposition and challenge where APC gets, now the APC members themselves. A lot of people they vex for different reasons. Say na them where they the APC come where they vex for them. I think go for sure. And what they don't do to pacify those people. Even though once in a while they go call a meeting of the CPC block of the APC, they go say no, nothing they happen. Nothing they happen for where. But almost all the big wigs inside the CPC, they vex. Bwala reacting to the interview where Peter Obi get for Inside Channels Television yesterday evening for Sunday Politics with Shewoke Maloye. He can't talk plenty things. First of all, he just rubbished the plan of the coalition, called them internally displaced politicians, IDPs. And what did he call them? Then he can't talk, say all the things, and when they talk, say they don't do, make presidents do, or say they could do next. Say them, they don't already do. Say, for instance, they talk, say, Obi talk, say, oh, say you go invest for education. Say them, they don't already invest for education. Say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu don't invest for education, don't give us student loan. So indigent students now don't they go school. And I'm just asking, a loan, not a grant. Is this something we should be proud of? And what is the percentage of the students who don't get that loan? And you gave that loan after you had increased school fees of tertiary institutions. Please fact check me. Since this administration come into power, the school fees of tertiary institutions, did they increase or not? So if it increased, what is the essence of the students' loan that was given? Right? Because if now other time when the school fees don't increase, at least people will still manage to send their children to school, right? Well, Shamu did not kick back. And then he did say something else that they're doing roads, he said quite a lot of other things that they are doing, that are working on, that they're not even bothered about the coalition. Even though people they talk, say the coalition, they send them into panic. Say then they panicked. They said no. Then they centered on finishing the good work where you said and start. And a lot of people will want to ask that if you feel like you're doing so well, so why are you scared of stepping down for another person to continue what you're doing? That's what many would ask. Now, one of the things he did say that I thought to quickly fact check, I could fact check so many other things he said. When Sean talked to him about the facts, Peter Obi talk, say they lack empathy. That is the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu lack empathy. That is, they not get the people for mind. They know they're sorry for the people. They know they show love to the people. 9 gave instance of the Niger State Mokwa flooding, how the president did not visit, how the president could not get to Yelwata rather in Makodi and all that. Do you know what Bwala said? Bwala said that in other countries, that the opposition would have been the one to also do it, to show the ruling party how it is done. That empathy is an individual thing and not a general thing. I don't know whether empathy gets only one language. Empathy not for all languages across the country. And then he did say something that why couldn't P2P visit those places? And I thought that, I don't know if he's just a spokesperson to the president and he's blind to what's happening in the country. Now, this is not me taking a swipe on Daniel Bwala. Neither is it me supporting or backing P2P, but it's just me representing the facts. Because P2P did not just go personally to Mokwa, Niger State. He also donated his personal funds to them, which the president himself could not do. A lot of when they are abroad don't come tell us how many times when EB say if things happen for our countries, how people, the presidents or the heads of the countries, they rush down from wherever they did, come quickly to attend to those incidents, right? But this now part of waiting they lack for inside Nigeria. When make people big talk that thing about lack of empathy for governance. So responding to lack of empathy, you throw that back to the opposition. So the opposition are then supposed to be empathetic to show you example of how empathy is supposed to be. And they ask you about government profligacy and all that, and you're saying that nobody has explained how they'll do it differently. You didn't note what Peter Obi said. He wouldn't need a private jet. That as a head, you should also be ready to die if the people are dying. You didn't know the fact that he has an example by saying that he had driven a 5406 at the which kind of car while in the president. Just like what did they call him? Wike talk. Why? By the way, I did a collage of lots of corrections of what Wike said in a video. So kindly go to Precious in your TV, click on the video section. I think that's the last video uploaded. You should go watch it. Because Wike was saying that P2B had never conducted local government election throughout. But he did conduct local government election, even though it was about 3 months to the end of his administration. And there was a detailed interview where P2B explained why he did not conduct local government election. And in that interview, he stated that it was because it was he had series of court litigations. Not be me writer, not be me talk those ones. Now them writer that he had series of court litigations that stopped him from conducting local government elections. And I'm now wondering, how can somebody who is a governor not know that those were the issues? But very quickly, make we just go listen to waiting Daniel Bwala get to talk. And if you bring those other evidences, can show on a phone at the moment. Make gonna go check waiting Daniel Bwala get to talk.
Property is personal and it can be public. So him as a person, where
principal did not go there. Why is it that your principal? Is there any reason why the president couldn't go to Yawata, couldn't go to Mokwa, and commissioning bus stations when people have died in the same when soldiers are being buried?
So one thing about leadership is you have so many things and you have to prioritize them. If the president were to be physically in Yelwata, would he have made the differences he was in Benue? You see, some of this rhetoric of Peter Obi and by extension the opposition is neither here nor there. It is because they lack basic things to talk about as far as governance is concerned. They go to talk, okay, because if he was not in Benue, they will say he didn't go to Benue. Now you went to Benue, why didn't you go to Yelwata? The shifting of goalposts is one of these elements you find in these internally displaced politicians. How many of them are gasping for power now? About 7 of them. Who among them has gone there? Go to England, go to America and see the opposition, what they would have done.
Who among them had gone there? And I feel like even though you play politics, it will be very wrong not to also say the truth. And I remember that he also did say quite other stuff where he said that, oh, that Grok on Twitter was fact-checking people. Grok does not have any fact. Grok now AI with the feed on information from mainstream media. And you and I know that mainstream media, they biased. We know that. Most mainstream media across the globe, they biased. In fact, one of the reasons why people now don't define alternative media platforms is a bias of mainstream media. I can give you series of examples. Some people go tell you, say, one of the reasons we make perhaps you go hate a Russia today, now because of the narrative of mainstream media towards Putin. That's on the international scene. We could go on and on with that on the international scene. You come for local scene. It is what you call the news that the news is. Whatever you do not call the news is not the news. So that is to say that the news, that anything where you call them. Waiting you know call the news, no be the news.
Grok came out with facts to disprove the falsehood of Peter Obi that it is not the valuation that accounted to that amount is mentioning as debt, and it is not debt.
It's hurtful to say that, oh, you get your facts from Grok. Grok? Some questions will be say something will happen now, you go ask Grok. Go tell you, say, no mainstream media don't report them, so you know go feel verified. But you're there in the incident live while it happened. So how do you use Grok as a yardstick to fact check people? Well, now, unlike what he said, here is an evidence that Peter, and this is Lagos Ibadan Press, by the way. This is not any other news outlet that you say, oh, it's a paid blogger that's reported it. This is Lagos Ibadan Press, or what people will call a Tinubu Press, right? Some people, they call this in one of the press the way they call Tinubu Press. So if a Lagos Ibadan Press can carry this story that Peter Obi visits Niger flood victims, Mokwa donate 20 million, and Daniel Bwala would say that which of them visited there. How is it that the spokesperson to the president is unaware that people died in flood that ravaged a community in a state where in the person where they talk on behalf of the president, or in a country where they talk on behalf of the president, and in no fit know the people, then we don't go see the victims or empathize with the victims of that flood, or perhaps he could not even have the sincerity to state that, oh, he knows Obi went. It was Obi's personal fund that he gave 20 million of his hard-earned money, not political money. If President Bola Tinubu were to go to Mokwa, or when Shetima went, Shetima did not donate his personal money. It is money. It is our collective money, our taxpayers' money that they donated. So when any of them go there, then when they're in government, like people are saying that the president doesn't have empathy and he did not go because of lack of empathy. If the president had gone, all his costs from in going, the jet, put up away, go carry him, the jet, everything, now on Nigerian taxpayers' bill. I don't know if you get my point. But Peter Obi went, the trip was on his own, his security was on his own, everything was on his own bill. And then he donated his personal money. If the president were to go or had gone, it would have been our money. I don't know whether you get me. So even though you're going to be spending our money, you did not go. Even though your principal was going to be spending our money, your principal did not go. And then you're giving an excuse and saying who went. And then you undermine the efforts of people who managed to go to empathize with others. And then you say empathy is personal. How empathy you take the personal? I beg, this is the point where I like to open phone line to hear from you people that you know, you people that in a functional democracy where copy the democracy from. Please, oh, when things like this happen in your countries, is it a personal empathetic thing for the president to react immediately or the head of state to react immediately and go personally? Or is it left with choice for him to rather choose whether to do or not to do within his prerogative? If he like him, go. If he no like him, no go. I'd like to really get you. So the reason I did do this conversation, and especially for Pidgin English, now to break down governance to people from the grassroots, make them understand what they expect. And what our politicians do not understand is that Nigerians are the easiest people to govern. We know how to govern. No. Now you make somebody go fit build flyover for River State. You build one flyover for Rumola. You build one for GRA Junction. You build one for Water Lines. You build one for Garrison. Anybody who knows River State to see how short distance these places then be. And would they hail the person say, oh, Mr. Project, you work very hard. What happens to the amount? At what rate were those projects executed? And what will be the international standard rate of the execution of those projects? Nigerians are not asking those salient questions. Rather, we'll go say, oh, you do well, you do projects. Right now, they do projects across the country. That's what matters to us. But the cost of the projects don't matter to us. If not a functional democracy, by now, we're going to scrutinize the amount of them. Every penny spent on those projects that looks like it is more than the normal. If we don't scrutinize them. If we don't query them. Because now our money. Now, let me even tell you something about paying taxes. You may think that, oh, because you're not paying taxes. Hello, if you buy everybody in Nigeria, they pay tax. There are taxes that you pay willingly and the ones you don't pay willingly. The tax and what they put inside the product so you buy, you don't know you pay. So that is why it should be your responsibility to query what they are doing, because you ought to know what is going on. You're a stakeholder. Your sweat follow. As I talk like this, why the sweat? My sweat follow because I pay my tax. So if I pay my tax, should I not know? Now, I mean, let's
share with them for department or a company or something like that.
Which company?
I'm being their personality. So what are they talking say? When Bwala and Shehu will say we didn't visit all these places. Do you know that Shehu was even listening to him?
He didn't say that. He didn't, and I'm surprised.
If you still have the thing shock me, like I said TV. I want Shehu. Say, tell him not say Obi visited to correct him that time.
And not only did Obi visit, Obi would have also gone to Benue State, if not because of the way the governor treated him.
Yeah.
We know that.
This is everybody know. But the women that Shehu don't know this. Didn't tell me.
Know how where you did. If any disaster happened, how on our head do you attend to them? If there is a disaster.
When this one happened that day, understand? They announced immediately. They just showed that because they work for airport and they work for air traffic control. Now where they work. Immediately they shut the airways. Understand? And there are this announcement everywhere. Everybody just there inside. Do you know that all those people that let me tell you this information? Do you know that because of people they run, all the people that violated traffic rule because of that incident,
they forgive them.
The government announced that all people that violated the traffic rule, they cancel all the penalties. Immediately that year, the following days. They didn't even wait.
All right, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot. So you just be wondering. I mean, they did this planet, I'd be another planet entirely. Obi went. And then going back to what Wike said in his video that I will not play, one of the things he said is that Obi never conducted local government election. Now, during the election or the week of the election, Peter Obi granted an interview. Apart from that, he had also mentioned that several times. So I'd just like to quickly show this up, where he mentioned why he did not conduct local government election. Now, just to let you know, the local government election not be seen that only Peter Obi. No, there were governors under this democracy before Peter Obi from Anambra State. All of them did not conduct because from investigation, it was since 1998 that there was no local government election in Anambra State. Peter Obi was the first person to conduct local government election from 1998. And at the time he conducted that election, I think in 2014 or thereabouts, at the twilight of his tenure. And this is the answer he gave. He said, as Anambra governor, I was prevented by arms of legal and litigation from conducting local government elections for 6 years in the state. So then again, it's surprising that somebody as a governor know about this. And then you now mentioned that for 8 years, Peter Obi, he didn't say 6, he said 8 years. How can that kind of person? 8 years. Oh no. While we have to do opposition and politics, let's do it with some sense of decorum and with the fear of God. If people actually believe in God. If you don't believe in God, at least with the fear of Amadio and Shongo, they could do the work. So I cannot see a beautiful work anybody has done, and I would say that because that person is my opponent or my political enemy, and I would not mention it. I go okay you, I go hail you. Kudos by the way to Daddy Freeze, because I hope you guys know that even within the APC, they have their own crisis. So APC gets serious crisis where they go, but it's just that because they're in government, they use them, they manage them. So, like somebody said today, the person said that the greatest opposition where APC gets, not be even the coalition. The greatest opposition and challenge where APC gets, now the APC members themselves, where they displeased for waiting they happen. Because there's a lot that we do not know. A lot of people, they vex for different reasons. All those reasons, not be waiting I go feed the talk now, but those who know the reasons, not gonna call in contact, make it not be like saying my mouth alone and the hear anything. So people they vex for different reasons, and now that reasons now make it be said. Remember, I say, oh no pasa talk am now. This just about no pasa. He talk am now. He say not be even all this opposition. I go even push it to the book. Say na them where they the APC gone where they vex or and then go for sure. And waiting in don't do to pacify those people. Even though once in a while they go call a meeting of the CPC block of the APC, they say no, nothing they happen. Nothing they happen for where. But almost all the big wigs inside the CPC, they vex. Today again, another person, big wig for inside the CPC, also resigned from the APC again. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And we keep saying that they're not having issues. Plenty of issues.